Nicky.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Nicky.
Hi.
Welcome to our show, and we are really privileged to have you here, especially because you have worked and met wonderful people. You've met Richard Branson, you've met Tony Robbins, you met Clinton, Donald Trump, and just to name a few. How does it feel to meet these people, these personalities, these celebrities?
How does it feel? It's really privileged, giving an opportunity to work with world-class speakers like them. And then each of them have their own message that really touches people's heart. And what they want to is also providing values to people looking for change, to better their life, to go to the next stage of their life. So to me, I feel that it's a privilege and also a mission for Success Resources, the company I'm working for, in helping to change life globally.
Yeah. Speaking of which, can you please share with us a little bit about the story? How did Success Resources started this? How did Richard and Veronica come up with the idea and then put it into practice to become this, one of the top leading learning events in the world, right?
Yeah. So back 26 years ago in Singapore, so Richard, Veron, and one of the other director, Patrick, so they set it up as volunteer work for church. So they had an opportunity to organize event voluntarily. And then after that, they come together and realized that, hey, they found a niche in the market. And they started off with a conference called the National Sales Conference at that time. They never had a public event like that in Singapore. So they put it on together. And then they had Tom Hopkins there as one of the main speakers for sales. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that they also came up with a different model. The model where people pay a relatively cheap ticket to come in, and then they have the opportunity to join the speakers program for a further development. Is that what it was at the beginning?
In the beginning, it was selling high ticket items. At that time, the business model is very different from what we have nowadays. At the moment, like Brian Tracy has a lot of books, as you may be aware, or Tom Hopkins have the audio sets. Last time they have cassettes and workbook, So people will pay maybe a few $100s to a few $1,000s to attend one of the major conference in Singapore. And after at the event, they get a chance to buy audio cassette tape program from Tony, from Tom, from Brian. Yeah. That was how it was before. But currently, the way the business model is done is completely different.
Can you describe a little bit how the business model is today?
Nowadays, we find, I think a lot of people are also overloaded by information. Yeah, you can learn anything from YouTube and Google and things like that. But there's so much information, you have no idea what's right, what's wrong. Are you supposed to learn from? So Success Resources has managed to gather really world-class speakers who has proven, we have tested them in multiple markets, and people who are our customers who have got results. So we put them in different countries. So from there, because people will pay very low-cost tickets from maybe 100, 200, 300 euros to a few thousand euros. Then after that, from there, they come here, they attend, they listen to all different speakers talking on different topics on business, investment, trading, property, personal development. They have a taste of what the speaker is going to teach them. From there, they have a choice, whether they want to continue with the journey of learning, or they say, this speaker doesn't resonate, or maybe that speaker, I really like what he's saying. They get a chance to see who they're going to learn from, the master they're going to learn from.
And then they continue with one or two or three speakers.
Yeah.
I remember that the second time I went to the National Achievers Congress, that was in Holland many years ago. And I realized that I knew so little about business versus how much more there was still out there to learn. And I enrolled in 4 programs during this 2-day event. And that changed my life. That opened up a whole new opportunity for me, because I still knew a lot and I could see a lot, but I was still so narrow-minded versus what else was available, which I only found out at the National Achievers Congress. So I am actually grateful to you guys, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, maybe I can share a little bit about my own story as well.
Sure.
So before I worked for Success Resources, actually I was a customer. So so I was in debt. And then after that, now I joined this program called the Millionaire Mind Intensive by T.R. Eckert, which is not here. Hopefully one day we get a chance to bring that program into. I think it's one of the best.
Not one far away date.
It's a super program. Then after that, I was really in money problem. I went there for 3 days, changed my mindset from lack and scarcity, right, into abundance, and really controlling my mindset, my blueprint, how I talk to myself, the little voice behind me. And within 3 months, at that time, during the event, they were selling a program called the Continut, which is like $10,000. I was penniless. I just, you know what? This is something I have to do. I just signed up for it. I don't know how I'm going to get paid. I don't know how I'm going to pay for the program. So 3 months after the Millionaire Mind program, I managed to clear my debts of only it was small amount, $20,000, but I managed to clear it within 3 months. And the next 3 months, I managed to pay off my whole Continut package. And miraculously, this is part of MMI. If you really take action on what you have learned, money keep coming into your life. And from that day on, with the money jar system, I keep practicing what I've been taught to me, and then my life has been getting better and better and better, and they're better every single year. So it's also the same thing about personal development. I have customers who attended every program Success Resources have offered. I asked them, why did you choose so many programs? They say, Nicky, I want to test it out. It's cheap learning from, you pay probably a couple $1,000s to masters to learn, rather than you try to do your own business, you could lose 10, 20, 100,000 of dollars. So why take a small risk, invest something small on yourself to see whether really you like it or not. It may be a passion now, but when you really go into business, it's a completely different story. You are an entrepreneur. You should know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's exactly the same story. It's like, it feels like it's copied. Because I also went to Business Mastery and I paid 10,000 and I had no money at all, and I borrowed that money, and then again I managed to pay it back like within 2 months from Business Mastery. I was like, wow, that's miracles can happen.
That's why personal growth is a never ending. And you realize one of the 6 values, top 2 values, is contribution and growth by Tony Robbins. So if you don't grow, you are dead. If you don't contribute, that you will not find fulfillment in your life. So my personal motto is, I just grow 1% every day. Over a year is not 360%, it's more than 360%.
And I remember one thing that you did today, because I see that you're so driven and so focused. We're working together right now to organize the Robert Kiyosaki event in Romania, the Wells Masters. And I have the privilege to meet Nicky, meet in person for the first time. But we were in the same room many times, as it looks like. And we were talking about all sorts of things about the event. And she was like, you know what, we have no time to speak about all of them. Let's just not focus on these little ones that don't add much value. Let's just pick these ones that have the biggest value, the biggest impact, and let's only focus on those, because this is where our energy should go. Like, wow, yes, that's a really good tip for time management, for anything, not just for organizing events. So I know that you've learned a lot of these little trips and tactics. Can you give us one example of something that you learned from Richard? Richard is the owner of Success Resources.
My beloved boss, of course. Boss, I love you. So now Richard has been, he's like almost like a father to me. Even my wedding, I had him to come to give a speech for me. And one thing I learned from him, I always remember the story where the day he asked me a question and I say, I don't know. He got so mad at me. He scolded me so badly, and I cried, and I really cried my butt out. And when I come down, when I went back to him, and then he said, Nicky, from today onwards, you are not allowed to say the words, I don't know. Each time you're going to say, I don't know, I'm going to fine you $50. From that day on, I don't know what has eliminated from my brain, okay? And every time now, I always find a solution to every problem. So I was like, I'm the professional problem handler and problem solver. Throw me anything, I'll just find a solution and find a way out of it. And in life, for anybody, there's no such thing as no. It's just how you're going to make it happen. It's you. It's you. It's your mindset. It's your little voice telling you no, but you have to tell yourself, hey, there's always a solution to every problem.
That's a life story for everybody listening to this interview. as well as for people who manage teams or have kids, because I believe that's very important for us as parents and leaders to teach people around us and our kids to not accept this answer of I don't know, because that forces everybody to come up with solutions. And I think that's a brilliant lesson. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Now, I'd like to go back to early stage when you were not that famous as you are today. And how did you manage to get your first few good speakers?
I think it's about finding the needs of what the market wants. So when first Richard and Veronica, when they first started, they realized that there's a niche on nobody is doing a sales program. Yeah, so they themselves love to learn as well. So they went to America and went to visit different speakers and see what the market needs. And then from there, they find the speakers who can give the best, who has the best information they can provide to the market, and they brought them to Singapore. Yeah.
Okay, and how did you manage to get such a wonderful speaker to accept the invitation of no one? Because at that time, Success Resources was no name, nobody knew about you guys, right? So because the reason why I'm asking this is because I know now a lot of people come to us and say congratulations for being able to bring Robert Kiyosaki, because we've tried in the past. There were many people who tried to bring Robert Kiyosaki in Romania, and so far he said no, or they couldn't even get to speak to him. So that's why I think it's very interesting for people who are listening to this to understand how to approach someone that you want to get on board.
Yeah, I think a lot of speakers like Robert or Half, they do it out of a relationship with Veronica and Richard. They've been working together for over 20 years now. Yeah, but in the beginning, it's all about selling. It's approaching the speakers, never take no for an answer. Keep trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. So don't accept no for answer. One day, one of the speakers will come and say yes to you. And like Robert, by chance, because when we approached Robert was his book wasn't that famous at that moment yet. Yeah. Then the story is like actually, in a way, we Success Resources and Richard and Veronica has helped Robert to propel his career and on the Reach That Path and the book and things like that. So, but it's all about really asking them. And one of the very good example is what Richard did after UPW. So Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within. So he did the fire walk. After the fire walk, he got so much courage and so much tenacity that he flew to America and went to speak to Bill Clinton, and he got Bill Clinton to speak at one of the Singapore events.
So he literally just asked for it because he had the courage and he had the strength, the inner strength that he got from Tony Robbins, from
Unleash the Power Within. Yes.
And then it happened.
Yeah.
So guys, if you're looking for that strength, you might consider coming to UPW. It's happening in a month, not even that. And of course, we represent Tony Robbins, so you can come and contact us for tickets, or you can also speak to BiziLive about joining us. It's more than 300 Romanians already going, so it's going to be a huge community and fun. Okay, so now can you tell us a little bit about how, so you mentioned that when you create an event, you look for a gap in the market, and then you create an event around that gap. But these days, there are not that many gaps. How do you go about creating events these days and planning or thinking about them?
So, for example, Half always like to ask two questions. How many of you would like to make more money in your life? Everybody always want to make more money in your life. And how many of you would like to have more happiness in your life? And a lot of people, what they're looking for is happiness and fulfillment. Okay? And there are always different kind of needs, and people go through different phases in life. So we have people who are really broke, who want to be there. And we have people who are very successful, lawyers, doctors, who they're really moving through the next phase in their life. So we do have speakers that can cater for different stages where people is trying to attain and we're trying to get to. So maybe people in their 40s looking for another stream of income that they can retire and then create a new business for themselves, and they can get into trading or the internet marketing. Yeah. So really, last year when cryptocurrency was really in the high, we also did a cryptocurrency event as well. Yeah, but one thing that we can always believe in is personal development. Human beings always need to grow, and a lot of our content of what we provide also has a lot of mindsets and also development and internal growth.
And what I kind of read through between your lines is that you also consider various types of people, and when you create a mix of speakers, you cater for every single one.
Yeah.
So everybody coming into the room will find something of value and grow as a consequence of listening to the various speakers that are there.
Yeah. But one thing I also learned from one of my mentors in the past is it doesn't matter who the speaker is or who the trainer is. As long as you walked in, you pick up one concept, you apply it in your life. You can, there's in today's event, there's so many topics, there's so many things you can learn, but as long as you walk up one and you apply it in your life, you have already got value of what action you have taken. Yeah.
You know, there are so many Romanians here who have read the books written by Tony Robbins, by Robert Kiyosaki, and many other great minds. And they keep saying that, wow, that book changed their lives. My question is, okay, so they got a lot from that book. It was a good foundation. It changed their lives. They have a business, or they have a family, or they have something as a consequence of taking some decisions and some actions from that book. How would you see their relevance for coming to such a live event? Like, for example, the Wealth Masters with Robert Kiyosaki now, after they've read the book, after they've already implemented something from the book.
Okay, reading a book is one thing. It's one way. Yeah, there's no interaction. But when you come to a live event, it's environment. You're hanging out with a group of people with similar mindset as you. People who's looking to change, people who's looking to improve, people who's looking to grow. Right? You just imagine when you walk out of your into your normal working life, there may be a lot of negative people in around you. But when you walk into the environment, you know that people are there like similar like you who want to improve. That's one thing. And once you get in there, you have the speakers from the book. It's like live in person. It's like they speaking to you, and you get maybe sometimes you even get a chance to ask them questions, you know. And you have no idea. We have lots of cases where businesses are created, wealth is created, new connection is created just by being there. That's the opportunity there, you know. If you're just reading a book, and sometimes you don't understand the whole concept, and you're just like, you know what, okay, this is just a book, you know. You may take action, but going to a live event can help you to accelerate learning, especially if Robert is famous for that. When working with Robert, it's not a one way, he talks, you write. It's about interaction, talking to people, a lot of sharing, and that's where you start ingraining, you know. Talk is one thing, you know, when you hear, you forget, right? So when you do, you remember.
Totally agree. I totally agree with you, especially that I've been going to so many events, and every single time I've been getting something.
Yeah.
And you know, I remember that you guys kind of forced me in a way to go to Business Mastery this year. Well, the last one. After I paid $10,000 to go to Business Mastery many years ago, now I was invited as your partner for free, and I was like, well, I've done it. I'm not sure that there is anything new or anything for me to take. I have loads of business to do, lots of stuff at home. And eventually, Totka was like, well, you must come. So I did go. And you know what? I got much more out of this one than from the other one. Because every time you are at different level, different stage, and then every time you get more and more and more, because you can absorb more, because you are more open.
Yeah, we do have a lot of customers with similar cases. So they come the first time they hear it, it's just very surface thingy. But as they will come back every year to our events, because each time they come, something just open up in there. A eureka moment, aha moment, something they even Millionaire Mind Intensive. I have customers who come back three times, 4 times. And Tony Robbins as well, Unleash the Power Within. I got a customer come back 10 over times. It's just every time something new open up.
We have Romanians going to UPW for 8 years, every single time, every single year.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's like motivation or growth is like taking a shower. You don't shower once a week or once a month. You shower every day.
Well, some people say that they don't need motivation. Other people say you need motivation. My view on motivation is that you can't get it from somebody. It's within you. But people can actually push some buttons so that it comes out of you.
Yes.
And then the more you go to these kind of events, the more buttons you get pushed and the more motivated you feel, and then the more energy you have and the more stuff you do.
Yeah, I think it's about energy, and I always believe in states. Like Tony Robbins keep talking about focus, psychology, physiology, and your language. So if you want to really grow in your life, master these three things. Then you have your personal power. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and being you always. I mean, sometimes it can be down, but just by changing your physiology, sitting upright, getting your shirt, that's it.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
It's only a one simple thing that you change, and you change your whole persona, your whole you, how you behave, your state.
Super. Yeah. Now, coming back to organizing, planning, and filling the rooms, how you are known as the person who fills the room. So every time there is a problem with an event, you do like 2 events per week, right? Or something like that in the world now.
Every week you have 3 to 4 events going on.
That's a lot, right?
Worldwide.
Yeah. And then every time there is a challenge with filling in the room, then you are involved, you get involved.
I wouldn't say every one of them, but this one belongs, so the country manager take care of them. But sometimes when international projects that I specialize in, and I work on, like Romania, opening new market, Success Resources, we are good at opening new market. So if you want us to bring events to your country, you come and talk to us.
So how do you go about opening a new market, by the way?
So a lot of time it's honestly, it's depending on where the speakers want to have a holiday. Yeah, it's like, oh, we've never been there. Let's go there and do events over there. This gives us an excuse to go and open a new market. So, and also it's like, first of all, it's like we do have a lot of requests every day from people asking us to open a new market in Pakistan, in Israel. We have lots of requests. But really, ultimately, for Success Resources is what partner and who do we know over there? We want to work with people with whom we can trust, whom it's easy to work with, you know, and know that ultimately we are here. Our ultimate purpose is to change people's life, to make a world a better place for everybody. So it's the partners, if they have some experience, they're already existing trainers or speakers, that will be a lot easier. Yeah.
So that will help you choose one country versus another, just because the request comes from somebody who is a speaker or an event organizer.
Yeah, to me, my personal choice, the person must have experience in at least filling a room, no matter how big or small, 100 people, 500 people. If they have that experience, I know they have the tenacity to drive things through.
So what I understand is that you don't do any new countries without a local partner. Is that correct?
Yeah, but we do have open market without local partners as well. It's a lot more harder. Yeah, so I mean, we have so many requests every day, so we cannot be conquering the whole world all at once. So we have to be very selective on where the market is growing as well from a business point of view.
And then if you have, let's say, 3 speakers and event organizers from one country, how would you choose? What criteria would you use to select the one that you want to work with?
I think number one, the affordability, whether the people can really afford the programs that we're going to bring through. Yeah, ultimately, we want to change the world, but we also need to make sure we make enough money to change the world too as well. And this is one of the philosophy that we teach people, like, hey, you want to save yourself? You want to save others? Save yourself first. Yeah, and looking at speakers and looking at partners, I think partners play a very important role. Yeah.
So you would choose the country based on affordability, and then the partners based on
whom we want to work with, the trust.
The trust.
Yeah.
Okay. And can you give us some other hints how you approach a new event in a new market? Any other tips?
Any other tips approaching? Not really. Yeah. It's really like we just want to have fun.
Yay.
Ultimately, life is about having fun. What's the point of trying to do something and they're not having fun after all? Yeah.
So that's why you stay after the event to have some fun as well in Romania.
I hope so. Yeah.
Can you share with us a little bit about the mistakes that you've done or can happen? I know there is loads of them.
Oh, you're going to bring me back there. Mistake we have done. Okay, probably the timetable. We schedule too many speakers, yeah, and then customer get upset. Yeah, so sometimes and then after that, dragging the days too long as well. Yeah, it happens, and really depends on what kind of programs you do. But Tony Robbins is really like from 9 a.m. until 12 midnight. It happens with Tony Robbins,
and nobody complains.
Nobody complains. People love him. Yeah. So mistakes. This is one that is very critical. Not starting promotion and marketing early. That's my specialty. So yeah.
So how much time would you allow to promote, say, 1,000 participants?
Well, I think 3 months should be enough, but I always like to give myself a longer time frame. But it happens before that I got 2 weeks to fill that room. Yeah.
You get 2 weeks to get 1,000 people in the room.
I tell you, it's a struggle as well. It's really, it's a lot of hard work. It's like you really have to just be very, very focused. Like what you shared with me just now about focus on the major things. Yeah. There are 10,000 ways. Okay, I'm just exaggerating here. Okay, there are probably a few hundred ways of filling the room, but focus on the top 10 that can help you to get the results.
Can you give us a few examples of the top 10?
Nowadays, digital marketing works very well. And then also working with affiliates, working with partners, working with training company, working with speakers. So, and then after that, our customer database. So we do have we have raving fans, people who have attended our program, and people whom life we have changed. They always want to help somebody else as well. So these are the few really good methods that we can fill the room.
So they share and they invite their friends as well.
Yeah.
And when things don't work in getting the room packed, what is your ace? What is your hidden tactic?
It never crossed my mind.
It never cost you money.
Yeah, it never crossed my mind that it would never happen. Number one is belief.
You believe you can do it.
Yeah, that's why every time my room is filled. If I never take a failure as an answer, or I never accept that fact that I never fill the room. I just believe that I can do it. So I get it done.
And I guess maybe I'm wrong. You also visualize it full of people, and that also helps because when your mind sees, or your unconscious mind sees it filled, then it happens.
So I do everything. So at the end of the day, when the room is not filled, you know what? I have done my best. Okay, and it's with the higher power. You know, there were times it's like I have no idea. I just go like, dear God, please help me. It happens quite a few times. A miracle does happen, and I always believe that it's my belief.
And it happens.
True. Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
So how would you compare the markets between? Well, in Romania, you don't know much about Romania yet, but how would you compare the different markets in the world for events, the ones that you know the best?
Human beings are more or less the same around the world. They want money. They want to be happy. They want to have better health. You know, they're looking for fulfillment. So more or less the same. But it's just how hungry the person is. Yeah, like in Singapore, it's easy because Singapore government always promote personal growth. So Singaporeans get subsidized from the government for upgrading our skills. So we have been ingrained since young to grow and learn. But in some other countries, they didn't have the privilege of getting all this kind of information. But there are people who are hungry. They know there's something out there bigger for them. And they come out seeking for answers. And they found us, and we provided some answers for them in their life.
So what's the country where the people are least hungry for stuff? For
those countries who are already affluent, Scandinavian, yeah. So they country where a lot of social welfare, you know. They believe that life is in a way balanced. The wealth, the riches, and the poor people should be balanced in a way. So they already have a lot of money in their life. They live in their comfort zone. The middle class. So when we market, right, we have the people who want to be the poorer one, and the people who have succeeded. The middle class are the hardest to convince. They are in their comfort zone. It's very difficult to tell a person in their comfort zone that, hey, you need to improve themselves. They were like, what for? Right. So unless they themselves really want to change, it's no point forcing the person to change.
So I remember someone saying that what's in between you and an extraordinary life, just an okay life. Because when you are in okay life, there is no drive for people to change, to go to the next level, to have an extraordinary life.
Yeah, but we do have very good customers from this okay life, because there's still, everywhere you go, there's still people who want to grow.
Yeah, everywhere in the world. So where would you say your events are most popular or attract the biggest interest? You have the biggest crowds. It's the most successful right now.
I think we say Asia. Yeah,
okay.
Because they're very hungry, and given Asian are very entrepreneurial, so a lot of them is in the culture as well. So we always want to like make more money and get more and really hungry. So as developing countries, I think Romania, when I just arrived like 2 a.m. last night, and the feeling I got from Romania are hungry. They're willing to risk, they take risks, they're willing to try new things. I may be wrong, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, so far I think I like the energy of the country. They're very aggressive, they run to get things done.
Yeah, we're going to have an amazing time together in May.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Can you tell us how you managed to get Tony Robbins to agree to have you organize his events in Europe and Asia?
We worked with Tony Robbins for many years. So we worked with an Australian company, which in the end that Success Resources bought it over. So it's now Success Resources Australia. We did his program like probably close to 30 years or more. Yeah.
You've been doing Tony Robbins programs for more than 30 years now.
In Australia.
Oh, in Australia.
Yeah.
Before Success Resources started.
So Success Resources was sort of like a reseller for the Australia program.
Okay.
So after that, that's where we started, and after that we did a few of the Tony Robbins event in Singapore. So from there onward, then after that we started UK office back in 2009, where me and Veronica went knocking on doors, filling the first room with 3,500 people for Millionaire MI. And a couple of years later, we started Tony Robbins. We got back the rights to promote and organize Tony Robbins event. And then from there on, and I think this is 7 years that we're doing Tony Robbins in London now. Yeah, and
it's growing every year.
I think this year we're going to have 15,000. So last year, Tony did something different. We had UPW, the Unleash the Power Within, in Singapore, which we got 13,000. Yeah, and this year Tony is coming to Singapore again for UPW.
So he's doing Singapore and London.
Yes.
Wow.
And Sydney.
And Sydney, three that you all organize.
It's all done by Success Resources.
Yay, that's a really good achievement.
It is.
So what do you think? Are you going to bring Donald Trump back on your stage now, given that he is the president of the United States?
I don't know. That depends on Donald if he wants to speak. Yeah, but it's going to be a lot of security. Yeah.
It would be different right now.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I met the guy himself. It's really straight shooter. No, it's like he'll tell you as it is, but it's how the propaganda twisted, right? I believe that there's always two sides to every story. Are you willing to hear his side?
And then when you meet these people, obviously you meet them as a person, so then you have a completely different understanding to what's in the media and what we are led to believe about those people.
Yeah, that's right. That's my personal experience anyway.
Yeah. So coming back to organizing events, any other big mistake that you could share with us?
Focus 90% of your energy in filling the room. Okay, logistic, venue, not important. That is only 10%. Really focus your energy in filling the room. Don't try to. You can get into the business of I need to confirm how many chairs, what color is the wristband. Those are not important at all.
Just focus on what's important. What's important is to get the people in the room.
Yeah. Without people in the room. Okay, you could have the most beautiful venue, the best AV system. There's only 10 people there.
Yeah. Well, I remember it's completely different because when I started, I had 14 people. My first event, I had 14 people. And it was a big room because it just happened to be a big room. And I felt like I knew all these big events with 10,000 people. I'm like, only 14 people? When will I get to those big numbers? And then it just grew. When you focus it, when you know what you're doing, you just get to the bigger numbers.
Yeah.
Any behind the scene in your events, anything that the public doesn't know about doing such big events?
Yeah, usually at the end of the day, a customer will come and say, "Oh, thank you for so much. You have changed my life." That's from the front, but behind there is a lot of chaos. There's a lot of moving parts happening. Okay, things supposed to happen. Things that shouldn't have happened have happened. So it's really being flexible, being empathetic, understanding, and trying to get things done. Yeah. So it's just. I mean, it can be stressful in the beginning way, but once you understand, you have the experience of how to solve the problem, it becomes a lot easier. Yeah.
And as well as being empathetic and understanding the other people.
Yeah. So I mean, customers always there. I mean, there'll always be somebody who's there's always 1-2% of people who's like always complain. No matter how good life is, they will still complain about life.
Yeah, well, there is quite a few of those that have been commented on our posts.
Let them go.
Oh, by the way, that's another question. How do you deal with negative comments on the social media posts?
They have their own perspective. So they have their whatever thing they're going through at the moment in their life. This is something they have to deal with, and we are not their coach, and we don't know them personally. We don't have to explain, and we don't have to defend, and we don't have to engage. This is their path. This is something they have to go through on their own. Yeah. So if they're open to come to event and talk to us, we are there. We can always help.
And then you just leave the comments without doing anything.
Yeah, because the more you try to defend or the more you try to explain, have you realized that even in your own personal relationship with anybody, the more you try to explain, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
Let's just give each other space. Right or wrong, this is your perspective. This is your opinion. You could be right, yeah, and I could be right too. So who's right?
And both are right, but because there are different perspectives, right? Yeah. And everybody sees from their own perspective.
Yeah. So we let them be, let them carry on with whatever they want to do. They choose to believe in. We're okay with it. We can't change everybody. We can't change 100%. Okay?
I just remember that we had quite a few comments, which in a way bothered me about this event with Robert Kiyosaki that we're doing together now in May. People don't believe it's him coming. How would you respond to those comments?
Buy the ticket, he will show up. I mean, we have done videos saying that he's coming. We have. I mean, we work with Robert for over 20 years. Come on, it's like really. I do believe there are people who's out there putting a picture of Robert and saying that Rich Dad live or whatever, and Robert didn't show. That is true. There are some bad apples in the market. Yeah, but Success Resources, we have a reputation. If you think we can't keep to our promise or we don't have the integrity, do you think we're going to survive 26 years in the market?
In all these countries.
And we are probably we are the leading seminar organizer in the world. And we work with big names like Tony Robbins. Yeah, Robert Kiyosaki, Half Acre, Les Brown.
Well, it's good you're saying it now because Romanians don't know you.
Yeah.
So now they know, and then after the event, then they'll recognize the name and the power that you guys have.
Maybe we can do this. Yeah. If you buy the ticket and Robert doesn't turn out, okay, touch you. Okay. Maybe we can refund you your ticket if you don't see Robert live there, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, why would Success Resources want to put our reputation at stake, trying to tell you that Robert is going to be here and yet he's not going to be here?
But by the way, what happens if something happens with a speaker? Has anything happened like this to you in the past?
Yes, during a SARS in Singapore, there was a flu virus. So it happened that the government stopped group gathering in the public. Ultimately, we have to refund the ticket because there's no choice. There's nothing we can do about it. It's public health warning.
So you just had to cancel the event.
We just have to cancel the event.
But it has never ever happened to you that a speaker said, I'm in hospital, I can't come, or something happened. I missed my flight, I can't be there.
It happened. Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street.
Really?
It happened. Yeah, he was really, really sick. Yeah.
And what did you do?
So we transfer. So basically, we postpone the event. So we apologize to the customer, and after we say, okay, he's going to be back. So we do another event. So the customer can always come back again. I mean, this is life.
So you did the event,
but on a later date.
Oh, at a later date. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there are always ways, always solutions to please the people who want to see that person, as well as to get the event happening as well.
Yeah. But what's important is taking action. Be there. Yeah. You never know who you're going to meet and what's going to happen, what opportunity is going to fall in your laps. And one critical thing is a lot of people in the market is speculating about market crashes coming up and things like that. I mean, we do have one expert called Sandy Jadeja. He has accurately forecasted the crashes many times, and he's also featured in Business Insider as well. So he'll be interesting speaker to listen to.
Is he coming now to the?
Yeah, he's going to the Well Masters. Yeah.
So we are going to hear for him talk about the crisis, when it's projected, or his opinion on when
his
it's coming.
Opinion, and then Robert may share like the type of money. Yeah. So it's going to be a very interesting event. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to.
Sure.
We have not even 10 minutes. So if we have any questions for you guys, you want to put it in the comments below here. Otherwise, anything else that you want to share with us behind the scenes, how challenges or the costing of such events, or the hard work behind such events?
Yeah, it does take a team. Actually, it takes a team of people to make this thing work. You know, it's difficult to do everything on your own. It's almost impossible as well. So when you have a very good team together, everybody have their strength in playing their parts. And my team, I mean, we have quite a few very strong, very capable people. That even our team is very small. It's like 4 to 5 of us, and we do make
5 of you.
Yeah.
In Singapore.
But no, the international team.
Okay, the international team. Yeah.
So it's like we make things happen. Yeah. So yeah.
So you believe in teamwork and in finding solutions no matter what.
Yeah, always hire people who are smarter than you. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very, very much, Nicky. If you guys want to ask a question, then that's the time right now. Otherwise, I think we are going to stop here. We appreciate you being with us until the end. Hopefully, you've got some nuggets. What are the main points, if I remember correctly? Take action. Build a team, build a strong team with people smarter than you. Do it with partners if you want to go in new markets. Assess your partners strategically based on your criteria, especially only go with people that you trust and have demonstrated experience for the type of work that you want them to do. What other main points were? Believe in yourself, get the strengths, go to UPW to get the power within.
Come to Wealth Master Tour with Robert.
Exactly. Come join us in May, 11th and 12th of May, to see Robert Kiyosaki and his advisors as well. Yeah. I'll also be one of the speakers. Yeah. And have fun along the way.
Yeah.
And focus on the others, focus on your client, on what people need, and provide to that gap in the market, provide with what the people really need at the moment. Is that fair as a summary of what we've done?
Yep, we cover a lot.
Okay. Thank you once again, Nicky. Have a wonderful evening, a good stay in Romania. And you guys, will see you in April for UPW or in May for the Wealth Masters with Robert Kiyosaki. Bye-bye. Have a good evening.
Thank you.